All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Two Bros Two Perspective podcast. I'm JJ.
What's up, everybody? It's Steven. What's going on?
It's early, man, and I think we're both feeling it this morning.
Yeah. Well, you say it's early this morning, like we started earlier than usual. At the same time,
same
at the
time.
same time, but
I guess it just feels earlier.
yeah, because the sun ain't up, nothing's up right now. Yeah, I think we both feeling. I'm a little tired this morning.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was a long week. Just when you have, well, you had a couple of days off, but I guess when you have Monday off, you're trying to stuff everything into those 4 days or whatever. So
Well, I've always said the short weeks are the longest ones. Seems
yeah,
like you know what I mean. But mine was super short, so Friday didn't even feel like Friday. I was like, "Fuck, it's Friday," because I
yeah,
only worked 2 days this week. Well, I worked yesterday, but the normal work week, I was like, "Shit, it's already Friday.
yeah.
Should just took the whole damn week off." But it is what it is. Uh, got baseball coming up. It's gonna be on Sundays, doubleheader. So I was like, "Well,
Oh
I don't
shit.
know our schedule, so
Uh-huh.
let me get this one in case I can't next week."
It's gonna start next week.
Yeah, start next week. Be doubleheaders on Sundays, if it's evenings, depending on
Uh-huh.
what time I may be able to make them.
Okay.
We may have like a 2 and a 4, or 6 and a 8, 12 and a
Depends on
2.
where it is too, I guess.
I think they're all gonna be in Waxahachie.
Okay,
It's
that's
like a
not bad.
Sunday league. I forgot what it's for, or what
Uh-huh.
it's called, but I think they're all gonna be in Waxahachie. So we'll see. I think they haven't put no schedule out or nothing like that.
Okay.
All they said is fall ball starts this date every Sunday. See you at practice. So
Volleyball, yeah.
yeah,
I don't miss that. I think right now we just got volleyball
yeah,
going on and stuff. So it's been fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Volleyball, I didn't know until last year how fun the games were. So
I think any sport, you know what I mean. Especially if your kids are playing,
yeah.
you're gonna it's gonna be fun because you. I think their interests turn into your interests,
Yeah, I
so
guess
if
so.
they out there having fun, then you're gonna study the game a little bit and cheer it on. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I've been wanting to try golf. You ever golf?
I think I golfed once long time ago, but it wasn't serious.
Yeah, I always thought like, golf is boring and shit, and then I don't know. I've been thinking. I was like, man, that might be kind of fun trying to get that ball in the hole from way the fuck over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So probably be once you get into it, know what do you call them? Clubs, drivers,
Yeah.
birdies, whatever the fuck they're called. Once you get the hang of which one you need and learn how to swing it, ain't easy to hit that little ball.
No, because we've been to Top Golf and it's not
No,
easy.
I mean you might get the hang of it
Yeah.
here after a while and be able to hit it, but to know your strength, how hard to hit
Yeah.
that ball, and all that shit seems pretty. Maybe it's the unk in me
The Ankh in
looking
you.
at the slower, calmer, and more, I guess, concentrate more sports. So
Yeah.
it looks pretty cool. Maybe we'll go out and try it one day.
Huh.
I was putt putt champion 1999 and 2000.
Yeah,
But
that's a long time ago.
you know what I'm saying. So we'll see on the real course. So, but it's also cool. I think they get the little fucking car and they got a beverage. That's funny. It's been maybe that's why it's been popping up on my TikTok. The beverage.
Cart.
Well, not because I'm looking at the girls, but
Right,
it's always
right.
beverage girls, and you got these fucking dirty ass white men flirting with them, acting like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And but they got the drinks come to you, so it's always a good time when you can do a sport and drink at the same time.
Yeah, like that they say there's some sports that you get better when you're drinking.
Pool,
Softball,
pool,
pool, softball, bowling.
bowling. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, either you get better, you think you did,
Yeah.
if you was drinking, but yeah, those are good. Bowling is fun. Have a
Yeah.
nice cold beer like that. So I guess it's you do better because that when you're drinking, you really don't care, just
Yeah.
having fun. You know what I mean? Because if it was serious, you wouldn't be drinking. So, but what do we even talk? Oh, because of the baseball.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big
So
bus started. So
we'll see. But depending on the schedule, of course, we playing some 8 o'clock. So I won't be here.
yeah.
But if they're nooning up, yeah, I'll be here.
All right, we'll see. We'll just play it by ear, I guess, once the schedule comes out and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be out
Take
tired.
it
I'll be
from
lying. Damn, we're playing at 8 o'clock this week, man. God damn, every week you playing at 8 o'clock. So, nah, I'm tired today. I worked yesterday, so I was up early yesterday.
hmm
Fucking Maya woke me up about 5. She's cleaning. Isaiah got home from work. Isaiah gets home from work. 5, 6 in the morning, depending 6:30 sometimes, and they come in like everybody's on the same schedule.
Yeah.
All loud. You hear them grabbing ice all loud and cooking. You hear the microwave. And I'm like, fuck, man, we're sleeping. So
But
Myra, she's
they might say that about us in the morning, so we're trying to
hey,
get
but
her
we're on
sleep.
the normal fucking schedule. You know what I mean? We're normal.
Yeah,
But I'm courteous. I'm like, okay, people sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And so Maya was up cleaning, deep cleaning, whatever she was doing. And when I left, she was fucking mopping the kitchen. She hadn't been asleep. So
that's what I hear sometimes. But I do realize it when I'm doing it. Like damn, you made a lot of noise this morning.
well, she's always not always, but when she cleans, she's got her phone on. She likes watching court TV and shit
Hmm.
like that. And for some reason, man, I think she's got the best speakers on her phone that I've ever heard in my freaking life because it's loud.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, fuck, my phone ain't even that loud.
Uh
But
huh.
so I hear the phone, plus I hear, her shutting doors, dishes clanking, and I'm a light sleeper. I don't know about you. Once I'm up, I can't go to sleep if there's noise. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I can't. I think did we discuss about sleeping with a TV? Right? I think we did. You said you fall asleep with the TV.
Sometimes I'll get home and I'll turn the TV on, and I'm already tired,
Yeah.
but that kind of helps me get to where I need to fall asleep, and I'll turn it off. I don't sleep with the TV on. I'll turn it off before.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's how I am. Like I can go home right now, be tired watching something. If I leave it on, I ain't gonna go to sleep
Yeah.
because I want to see what the fuck's finna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I turn it off and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So this morning she was cleaning, but I think she knew I was coming, so she didn't want to wake me up. Well, she did anyways, but wake me
Right.
up, getting in the bed and all that.
Yeah.
So she probably figured, well, once he leaves, I'll crash out and she'll sleep. She'll sleep a few hours since she works in the outside world now.
Yeah. That's true.
So she'll sleep till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, get up and get ready for the next day.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it was a short, long week. Wasn't too bad. I needed that time off. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Went to the doctor. I mentioned it before just now. One of the things I hated going back to the doctor is, man, my doctor retired probably about 7 years ago, man. 8 years ago, maybe. I don't know. Dr. Lou. Shout out, Dr. Lou. I hope you're still alive, man. Cool ass little Asian dude, man. And yeah, it was a one stop shop. You know what I mean? You go in, get your blood, your x rays are right there, whatever. If you want to do your vision, everything was there. Pay your copay, get everything done there. Now, and went to the doctor, try to find another doctor, and it's like, okay, pay your copay. What's wrong with you? This. Okay, well, I'm gonna send you over here to get that checked. They're trying to send you 3 or 4 different, here for your blood, here for your feet, here for your vision, here for your heart.
yeah.
Whatever it is. Diabetic specialist type shit, and it's like, fuck, that's all these copays in 1 week. You want me to hit up plus
Yeah.
medications. So I think that's what lured me away from going to the doctor. I'm like, man, it's a fucking hassle. I should be able, it's just a hassle. Then you got to take off work. You know what I mean? So, same thing here is what trying to sign me up for diabetic classes. And I'm like, dude, I can go to YouTube, probably see the same shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I don't know. A few things wrong with me, nothing major. Of course, I knew my diabetes was gonna be high. Hell, I came off a fucking 4-day binger. You know what I mean? Right before I go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
We bought shit for ice cream sundaes, so I was Sundaying it up, drinking
Damn.
all weekend. So yeah, went the best. And one thing he did say was that my blood pressure was good, and I was like, yeah, I've been off for 4 days. Let me come in on a Wednesday or a Thursday at the end of
Yeah.
a real work week.
That's
So
true. I guess.
you know what I mean. But it is what it is. I want to live a little bit longer, so I'll do whatever. I'll comply.
Yeah. Well,
You
maybe
know.
this will kick off your yearly checkup and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah. What do you, real quick? I know we had a cliffhanger from last week, so I don't know what you got planned to get in that. But let me ask you this: so I know some people are like, "Man, fuck medicine. I got a what do they call it, naturalist or whatever it's called."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't take these medicines. I take sea moss. I think is a
Yeah.
big thing right
Yeah.
now, and just other type of shit. What do you look at? Do you go that route? Do you go just do what the doctor tells you to do, or look into both?
Most time I do what the doctor tells, but I'm not good at taking pills. Like, well, right now I don't have anything that I'm supposed to be taking like daily or whatever.
Yeah,
But when I have been given medicine to take, I I just stop because I'm not good at it. Like,
yeah,
even the vitamins that I take in the morning. Like my routine in the morning is I come here, work out, and then I'll go make me some breakfast, take my vitamins and that kind of stuff. Last week and the week before, I was a little bit sick,
yeah.
kind of. So my routine was off. So even taking medicine. I didn't take my vitamins for like almost 2 weeks
Yeah.
because I stopped doing the morning thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with me with pills. Like, let's say I get an infection, I need antibiotics. You take 30 days or 15 days of antibiotics, I never finish them.
Yeah. And not
Um,
only that, but it says like every 4 hours.
yeah.
Well, goddamn, I'm asleep for like 8 of those hours. Like,
Well,
should I set my
when they say
timer?
every 4 or 6 hours, pretty much it's like, let's see, 4 hours is 6 times a day, right? So morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, bed. 4 times a day is morning, lunch, dinner, bed. You can plan it like that. Now it has to have to be like I gotta wake up at 2 in the morning
Yeah,
to,
every 4 hours, man. You gotta follow the instructions. It ain't gonna work.
yeah.
Because that's what the antibiotics say. Don't say 4 times a
Well,
day.
you
It
could
say every
plan it
four
out
hours.
for that. You know what I
So
mean?
I'm like, fuck. But I'm with you, man. You lose track, and then instead of 4 hours, it's 6 hours, and now you're rest of the
Yeah.
time. So I'm like, ah,
But then I'm not big on medicine anyways, not for any particular reason, but like I have a bad shoulder and it's probably hurting a 6, 7 all the time, right? And I don't take medicine for it.
yeah,
I just don't. They prescribe me anti-inflammatories or cream. Every now and then I put a patch on it, but I just don't take medicine.
yeah,
But it's not for like because of whatever, blah blah blah. I just don't take it.
yeah, yeah. When it's hard to get it these days, but when they give me that pain medicine, I do take that because
Yeah,
mostly just feel good,
yeah,
because pain medicine don't work anyways. I don't think. I mean, if your fucking shoulder hurts at a 6 or 7 all the time, you take pain medicine, it ain't gonna do shit. But maybe help you go to sleep or give you a little, depending what medicine, give you a little
yeah.
buzz to forget about it.
I don't even like that. I think part because I had a little bit of insomnia for a little bit, and they gave me medicine for to go to sleep.
Mm,
But then in the morning I wake up feeling like shit, like a hungover. So
yeah,
I stopped taking that too.
yeah, yeah. Same shit. I still got it, and I told the doctor this week, I need something to sleep, man. I don't fucking sleep. But been given sleeping pills, and they do that. There was one they gave me. I can't forget. I was trying to tell this doctor. I couldn't remember the name of it, but as long as you got between 4 and 5 hours of sleep, you didn't wake up groggy with that
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, sleeping pills and sleep aids, even what's that natural shit, melatonin. Still, if you don't get enough sleep, you're all yeah.
yeah,
It'll put you to sleep eventually, but you wake up fucking groggy and
yeah. Because
tired
you
and
didn't get
shit.
enough sleep.
So we'll see. I told him. I said, look, it was funny because he's like, well, tell me what you're trying to get checked out. I'm like, because I got these balls on my feet, man. They're pretty big on the bottom, and them motherfuckers be hurting and shit. But I deal with it. I don't know if it's because I'm old school. I don't know if it's just because I'm one bad motherfucker or what. You know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
aches and pains and shit, I just deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And my feet. I'm diabetic, so my feet are something I need to be checked on. Anyways, my vision's been the shit. I don't. I drink. I've been drinking a lot lately. Not a lot. When I say a lot, like I'm not drinking during the week.
Yeah,
When I say a lot, instead of on Fridays I pick up two tall boys. Now I'm getting a 12 pack. But I ain't gonna finish it. I may drink 6, 7. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
for me, that's drinking a lot. So
Uh-huh.
don't think turning into alcoholic out there. Just I was maybe a once a month drinker. Now I'm drinking
Yeah,
2 out of 4, 3 out of 4 weekends. So it's not a problem like that. But and all my life I did this, I did that. So it's not like I took care of my
hmm,
temple. You know
right.
what I mean? So your body doesn't start healing itself. Really, it just deals with the damage and keeps on going with what you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So I'll comply. But I told him, I said, man, I just don't want to be that guy taking 10 or 12 pills.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, you shouldn't be. Maybe 5 or 6. And I'm like, God damn.
No, it's 5 or 6.
So we'll see. But back to it, I mean, naturalist, that type of herbal shit. I mean, you think that
I don't
heals
know.
just the same, or you think it's just a mind game and it's
Well,
a
the people
hustle?
that say that always talk about, you know, back in the day, there was no medicine. People weren't sick. People didn't have as much cancers, and that's.
Yeah.
I think they go back to that, right? With the natural remedies, whether it's herbs or I don't know. I don't know what else.
Sea moss and
Yeah,
shit
and all
like
that
that.
kind of stuff. It works, I think, because they're right. Back in the day, people
Yeah.
used to take whatever they have,
Yeah.
and but then there was a black plague that they couldn't cure, and there was like measles that wiped out a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I believe in vaccines. I'm not one of those people that don't believe in vaccines and stuff like that, like measles and
Yeah, yeah,
all
that,
that
yeah.
type stuff. But I get the flu shot every year just because they make me at work. But I probably would get it anyways. Like in my yearly checkups, if they were to
Yeah.
say you want a flu shot, fuck
Yeah,
it, I'll
fuck
get
it,
a
why
flu shot.
not?
Yeah,
Is it free? Yeah, all right, give it to me.
yeah. So,
Oh
but I
shit.
mean, I go every year. I go to the doctor every year. I think sometimes twice a year.
Damn, that's it. Yeah, I guess that's all you need. Me as a diabetic, I'm supposed to go every 3 months.
Yeah.
Shit, I ain't been.
But I mean, lately I've been going for my shoulder and my knee and stuff like that. So, couple specialists looking at it. So
You ever tried those TENS units?
I have one, but
What?
same thing. I need time to sit down and
Yeah,
put it on.
you could have it on right now.
I guess so. Yeah.
I use that motherfucker. That motherfuckers are good, man. Like with my back, I
Uh-huh.
got back. I've had back problems for years, and motherfucker helps, man. For
Yeah, they
real.
gave me one for my shoulder, and I guess it helped a little bit. But
Yeah,
I'm just used to dealing with it, I guess,
yeah.
and the day to day, and then I just, like I said, sometimes at night I sleep on my right shoulder, and
I
that's
sleep on my
that's
left. My shit's
my bad
fucked up.
shoulder. So sometimes at night they send me like these lidocaine patches, so I'll put that on there at night.
Now we're showing our age right here. So you sleep on that side. I sleep on my left, and man, my left hip feels it too. Is
Yeah,
that the same with you?
no,
Because on the couch I sit down, but if I lay down on the couch, it's the same side, and that shit is wearing on my whole left side, my hip
nah,
and
my hips
shit.
are good.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. I'm
I
not.
guess we're 40s, late 40s now, but I don't know. I think what was it, like maybe almost 4 years now that I had the weight loss surgery. I think if I didn't have that, I was on my way to having all those issues,
Yeah,
right? I was because I mean I was eating and drinking and I didn't care and I was going to the doctor, but and I could tell like, okay, your blood pressure's going up,
yeah.
fatty liver or this and that. So I think I was on my way to it.
Well, I mean, fuck. You had fucking good food and good drinks at your disposal every fucking day. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah, yeah.
Like you said, I'd show up sometimes. You'd have a fucking tall boy and a bowl of menudo or some. It's right there.
Yeah, when I was at the store back then, I mean, I was drinking every day. I was just the beer was there, and um, like you said, I would drink probably two tall boys almost every day.
Yeah,
But that was it was because it was habit,
yeah,
right? And because it was there, and I was bored. But now I stopped drinking beer now, and I don't really crave it. That surgery takes away some cravings,
yeah,
and I think beer was one that it got taken away.
yeah. I'm gonna chill on the alcohol. Like I said, there ain't no alcoholic type shit once a week. But he said something about my liver. Then
Yeah,
I'm gonna chill on that shit for a while. I'm gonna meet with him. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday. See what he says. But I'm pretty sure alcohol probably gonna be something I gotta go with, which is cool with me. Shit. I lost like 11 pounds when I got weighed that day. I weighed myself like two month and a half prior. Wrote it down, and I was oh shit, I lost a couple pounds. Hopefully, it's because I wasn't. I stopped eating out at work. Started taking my lunch, little tuna sandwich or something,
yeah, yeah,
and maybe that helped. I don't know. I stopped trying to eat so many snacks. So hopefully it wasn't because I'm sick or something. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I didn't do a dramatic weight loss, but
Right.
I did stop eating out a lot.
I think
And
me it's just the snacks, the sugary snacks sometimes.
tell me about it, man. And I stopped sodas. I was drinking a bunch of sodas. I think I maybe drink one a day, maybe not, if that.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. So, anyways, that's enough health talk. You know what I mean? What else you got, man? What else is going on? Real quick, Rangers, man. Getting a good push. Fucking one Friday, got the asses whooped yesterday. I'm like, fuck.
I didn't see the score last night. I
It was
was
like 8-0, 9-0,
uh,
some shit like that.
well.
So
Let's see what happens today. There's a noon game today.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. Most likely it's Sunday, so most likely it's during the day. So we
Yeah,
can take this one and be all right because winning Friday and then losing Saturday just cancels everything out.
pretty much.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It ain't shit.
yeah.
So we got to win today. So we'll see how that goes.
I
So
think last time I checked, they're one game back of the last spot, the playoffs.
well, maybe
Just got to
two.
get in.
Yeah, that's it. That's how they did it last year.
Yeah,
A lot of youngsters coming out there.
yeah,
Friday, the lineup, they had the batting lineup. I was like, who the fuck are these people?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I didn't recognize nobody except for like Young and, maybe two out of the three. I was like, what the fuck? They got a couple, three guys they call the Little Rascals.
Oh
Have you
shit.
seen that? Because they're
Uh,
young and they're out there fucking The guy that walked it off on Friday in the 12th, he
Yeah, I
played
didn't
with us.
recognize his name.
I can't even remember, but he played with us for like a month. We sent him back to AAA
Yeah.
like in May. Came back, first game back, fucking walked
Yeah,
it
when I
off.
looked up the score, I didn't recognize his name when I saw it.
So there's a couple guys out there, that you get your chance, go out there and
Yeah.
do what you got to do. And that's how it was when we won the World Series. That's when Carter, Young, and they made a name for
Yeah.
themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
Langford. Was Langford? Yeah, Langford.
yeah. So you didn't have Garcia one in the lineup. Simeon. I know we got some injuries, but I mean, I hardly rep. I was like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
they did their thing though.
And then the Cowboys, they didn't do too bad on Thursday. I watched most of the game.
That's funny you say that because I got some Cowboy fans that work with me, and it's funny because they're like, "Man, that was a great fucking loss," and I'm like, "What the fuck? What the hell? Great
Yeah.
fucking loss!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is that the standard of a Cowboy fan now? It's like, well, we thought we were gonna get blown out.
Well,
I'm
the
like,
point spread was 30 points
yeah, but a loss, but still, how do you say that's a great loss? Like,
because there's two ways you look at it. They were scoring in the first before that rain delay. It was like score, score, score. Both teams were scoring back and forth, right? And people that wrote Dak off already is like, wrote him off. Um, but he looked good. And the second half, nobody really scored, and I think part of that was the rain delay kind of
yeah,
messed things up. But I think that's when they say it was a good loss because first of all, they were supposed to get blown out. They're in Philly. They're against the champs. No Parsons. Supposedly Dak is washed up, and then they turned it into a what is it, 3 or 4 point game. They were not expected to lose, but they looked good during the loss.
I guess.
Yeah, that's probably what they meant by that.
Nah, these fools were
At the
like,
end of the season, it's a loss, right? Nobody's
yeah,
gonna remember how good they played, or they're just gonna remember that it was a loss
yeah.
if they don't get in.
But I'm like, it's
To
one thing like you just said. You said, man, they played good, but we lost. But they looked all right. But to say, man, I mean, they literally were like, that was an excellent loss,
they
man.
look
I'm happy. I'm
surprising.
happy with that loss, and I'm like,
No, I'm not happy with the loss. I wouldn't say that, but they surprised most people. I wouldn't say.
yeah. But what's the saying? The sun shines on the dog's
That's
ass every
true.
now and then. So,
Yeah,
hey, come out here and play the Stars team next week and get their ass blown. Like, oh,
you never know. Yeah,
But they lost in Cowboy fashion when they should have won.
I think if they didn't fumble the ball before the rain delay and they would scored, I think they had a good
Not
chance
only
to win.
that, but CeeDee Lamb had 3 catches that he should have caught.
Yeah, he dropped the ball. Yeah,
And they kind of looked like tough catches, but then when they replayed them, they were in his fucking hands.
yeah,
Like the one that bounced off his helmet, right in his hands.
he dropped it. Yeah,
And that would have put him close to the red zone.
yeah,
The last one, I mean, he dove, but that's what he gets paid for. That's what he's cocky for.
yeah.
He says he's the shit. He thinks he's the shit. We'll go out there and make those fucking catches.
That's true.
So he's not just some wide receiver that's humble or you don't hear about, flashy, that missed a diving catch. You're dealing with like a Michael Irvin type,
Yeah.
not athlete, but what would you say? He thinks he's prime time type dude. You know what I mean? Like
Well, he's the number one receiver on the team. So,
exactly.
yeah.
But you got number one receivers on teams that act normal, and you got ones
Yeah, I
on there
guess
that
so.
are going out there with big old diamond earrings, big old chains, thinking they're the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what
Play
I'm
up
talking
to what you think
exactly.
you are.
Play up to the hype.
Yeah.
There you
to
go.
what
You want to be
think you
hyped
are.
up? Well, that's the time when you fucking show up. Game
Yeah.
one against the Eagles, make that fucking diamond catch and win the fucking game.
Yeah.
And that's why they kept going to him. Even after those two that he missed before that last diving one.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver, they wouldn't even go to you. You're not even in the plan no more. We're going somewhere else, but they
Yeah.
went to him because of who he is. So, and that's the one thing about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott is good players. They are. Because somebody said, "Well, look at Jerry, man. He's always don't get the players." I said, "What do you mean? He's had fucking superstars, which he has. I mean, his whole time pretty much with the Cowboys."
Yeah.
And there was a time with Parsons and Dak and Zeke and uh, whoever else when they had a badass fucking team and still didn't do shit. They always seemed to be able to
But
choke.
even back with like Romo, T.O., and that team, they had a chance. I think um even Des Bryant when he supposedly didn't catch that ball in Green Bay, I think that was their year, but they got kind of like got robbed with that
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I agree. But sometimes just like when Stevie plays or the Ranger plays, it shouldn't come down to one last fucking ditch effort play like that. If you just play the way you're supposed to play, won't be that close. But like my point was that they've always had good players on their fucking
Hmm.
team, and they've had Super Bowl caliber teams,
Yeah.
throughout these years. But they always seem to choke, man. Somehow, some way, somebody chokes. Dak does a fumble. CD misses a fucking ball that he usually catch. So
Hmm.
it's rough. It's rough, and they're like, "Well, what team do you like, motherfucker?" Talking shit. I'm like nobody, but I love Cowboy fans are the, the best. It's fun to piss off Cowboy fans after loss. I really don't care about football. If it's two guys, watch some of that game. If it's two good teams playing, I'll watch it.
What's funny is that the Cowboy haters, it's they were talking about it at work, and somebody said, "Well, you know what? I don't watch the highlights because I know all the haters are going to tell me all the stats." It's funny how suppose you don't like the team, but you know the stats. You know how many yards Dak had. You know how many yards
Well,
they
I don't
were.
know that much.
Seriously,
I just know
no, I'm just
Dak.
saying. There's a
That's
lot of
oh yeah,
Cowboy
yeah, yeah,
haters
yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah.
next day they'll tell you straight up. Oh well, Dak only had 250 passing yards. Like shit, I didn't even know that.
But like I just said it though. If it's two good teams playing, I'll watch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that was opening game, two good teams.
yeah.
So I watched it.
Thursday night.
I'm a sports fan,
Yeah,
but I'm not going like, fuck, man. I better hurry up and go watch the Cowboy game. You
yeah.
know
I
what I
don't do that
mean?
anymore either.
Now with the Rangers, I'm normally not like that. I'm like, oh, I'll catch the highlight because they played fucking 500 games
Yeah.
in the season. But I was ready to watch this weekend because I knew it was a big weekend. Playoffs, even hockey. I don't really watch hockey during the season, but playoffs is fun, and I'm a sports fan.
Especially
So
from your city, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like I'm
But
not a basketball fan, but if the Mavericks are in the playoffs, I'll pay attention.
yeah, and I don't know if you're familiar with Cooper Flag. They got
Yeah.
him, so you might say, "Let me check this kid out, see what he's talking about." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, like I said, not a big Cowboy football fan, but I'm a sports fan. So there's a good game going on. Like there's times I've been watching the Cowboy games and I turn it
Yeah.
fucking boring.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Best time to grocery shop is during the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd rather go grocery shop, get that shit out the way, then come back. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like a friend of mine, I was just fucking with him. He was like, "Hell yeah, Cowboys are up," and I'm like, "Shit, they're playing." I was watching Housewives of Atlanta. He's like, "Motherfucker." So, but
But one thing that I used to like watching a lot that I fell off partly because there wasn't really any big ones lately, or the damn prices were too high was fucking boxing.
well, boxing was exciting back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
These days, I mean, now it's become what if correct me if this is the wrong word, but it's become a spectacle. Is that the right word? Spectacle? Did I say
Kind
it
of.
right? But to begin with, did I say the word right?
You spectacle, yeah, but I mean it's
Okay.
more of a show than the fight.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah,
spectacle.
I know what you're trying. Yeah, spectacle.
Skeptical.
Spectacle.
Skeptical or spectacle?
Spectacle.
It's funny because there's a guy. I think I may have told you real quick. We get right back. Remind me. The guys with the put the hand up the door and they talk. What do you call that one?
Puppeteer.
No, what is it? A ventriloquist.
Oh, okay.
But it
Ventriloquist.
was funny because there's one by my job. He asked for money every morning, but he's got one.
Uh huh.
And I went to the shop. I go, "Hey, you just see a motherfucker over there with that transventriloquist?" And they were
Transvent.
like, "Transventriloquist?" He's like, "Man, that's a ventriloquist." I said, "Nah, man, it was a fucking girl as a dude. He's a transventriloquist." So anyway, skeptical, spectacle,
Spectacle.
whichever one it is. You know what we're talking about out there, chat. You know what I'm
Well, there's a
saying?
big fight next week.
Is that Canelo?
Canelo Crawford. It's on Netflix.
I saw that, and I didn't know, because sometimes I'm on TikTok and it'll
Yeah.
say like, somebody got cut or this happened, and I
Yeah.
go Google it.
Yeah.
It's fucking fake news. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I did see something that Netflix bought out pay per view or something.
I don't know what they did,
So,
but
but now everything is no more pay per view or something. It's gonna be on Netflix, something like
no,
that.
I think there's still those pay-per-views, but I think Netflix bought the rights to this one.
Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking about watching that one, especially if it's free. I won't
Yeah,
rent it
yeah.
because I know Canelo. I don't know much about boxing. I hear Canelo's like the best motherfucker, but I also hear that he doesn't fight nobody good. I don't know. I don't know who's good or not, but I do know that one is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Supposed to be like what the top two boxers right now in the world
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
shit. I do like Canelo. He's a funny guy
Yeah.
because I was watching him. He did an interview, and it was with Big Boy. You know Big Boy. You know Big
Yeah,
Boy from
yeah,
Cali.
yeah,
Uh, he's like, "What's up, my fucking friend?" Or shit, because Canelo, I guess, cusses a lot.
yeah. He does.
He's like, "Hey, motherfucker, what's going on, fucker?" And
Yeah,
he's like, "What's your favorite fruit or some food to eat?" I fucking like oatmeal and fucking. He goes, "What's your favorite cuss word, man?" And he's thinking, he's thinking about it. Big Boy's like, "Fucking," you done said fucking like 20 times. Yeah, I fucking love that word, man. So he's a funny guy, and I've seen some interview or whatever it's called when they're both boxers
yeah,
up there, and seen him talk shit to De La Hoya and shit. So he's a funny guy,
yeah. He's
like a
cocky, but he
Goodfellas.
has the right to be cocky
He's
right
fun.
now.
So I hear that one's supposed to be
Yeah.
good. It's on Netflix, so I may watch it. But um, somebody a lot of people don't know about, you're familiar with is um, fuck, what's his name from that was from California, Vargas.
Hmm.
His son, I guess, is a boxer now.
Yeah, to his son.
And I was telling my partner at work, well, he's a youngster, and I was like, man, I remember his pops. I said,
Yeah,
I was living in California when he fought Trinidad.
yeah,
And he's like, huh? Who's that? Who's
yeah,
Trinidad? I'm like,
yeah,
man, what the fuck? So back then, when you had the Latinos and the Mexicans, once Tyson and Holyfield and that shit kind of died off, as far as the black boxers, I didn't see anybody that was worth watching. You know what I mean? But I remember, Trinidad, De La Hoya, Chavez,
yeah,
Vargas, they was all out around the same time, and that's kind of like I would compare it to the Astros, Seattle, Texas
yeah,
type. They're all kind of fighting each other.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was exciting. Well, pay per view was like 39.99 back then.
Now you get a fight for $100.
Fuck, and you
Yeah,
don't know if you're gonna see a fight
yeah,
or you're gonna see some bullshit.
yeah.
You know, the Logan, what's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. He's in there, and I think he came in just as a rich fucking kid, like fuck it, let me try this. But I think he's pretty fucking good, man.
He got skills, right?
And
He
he's
has
a big,
skills.
strong
He's
motherfucker
big and
too.
strong, yeah. And I think partly that's why some boxers won't fuck with him because his power. Can't deny he has power, right?
No, he's a big
But does
motherfucker.
he have the skills to fight somebody like a Canelo? We don't know because he won't fight him. And I don't blame Canelo for not fighting him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not a pro.
Well,
He's
not
still
only
amateur.
that, but I think some of it might be that he's afraid that he might
It
lose
could
to
be
him too.
because that'll be a big deal
Oh, that would tarnish
if
his.
you lose to Jake
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah,
Which if he wins, right? They
yeah.
let the best man win. But I don't blame him for not wanting to fight him though.
Yeah, like why? Well, who are you that you need to earn your fight with me? Not just I want to fight Canelo.
No,
Let
I
me go
mean
fight you.
Jake Paul has a big following, and whoever fights
Go make some bread.
will get the big payday because of both of them. Not just I don't think Canelo will just bring his part. Jake Paul brings a big following too,
Yeah, for sure.
so the money will be there for
And not
both
only
sides.
and not only that, you're gonna get people that are not really a fan of either one or a fan of
Yeah,
both that just want to see,
yeah,
hey, is he gonna
yeah.
beat this
That's
motherfucker?
what I mean. So
Yeah,
both of them bring. It's not like one sided where because you want to fight Canelo because you want clout. No, Jake Paul has
yeah,
clout already.
yeah, yeah. But I think Jake Paul probably got a bigger following.
Could be, man.
Because I mean that's how he became who he is
Yeah,
today, from
yeah,
from followers. But no, I think obviously Canelo has the experience to know what it takes to go through because Jake Paul boxes like 6 rounds.
yeah.
I don't even think it's as long as
He's
a
not
reg.
used to the whole 12 round fight
I think it's 2 minutes
because it's
instead of three
amateur,
minutes or
still
some shit.
amateur fight. Yeah.
So, can he go 12 rounds with somebody like Canelo? Because Canelo got pack some power too.
He has power in what his strategy most time is. He breaks you down, right? A lot of times he punches it a lot to the arms, just fucking power
Get you
and fucking
tired.
arms, and he lets you wear out. He'll take punches. He
Yeah,
could take a punch. So these guys that come out first 2 3 rounds, boom, 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 and then he just takes it for a
yeah,
while by just you know banging you away, boom, boom, arms,
yeah.
body shots, and of course the head shots, but that's why at the end he just has all that power still because he there's been fights where I've seen and even the commentators like he's breaking him down right in front of you. You're getting a fucking class on how to break
Masterclass.
down a fighter.
Just like the same way with Mayweather.
Yeah.
Everybody says, "Oh, he just runs," but the same thing. You break it down on what he's doing, and he knows what he's doing. He's
He has
not
good
scared.
defense. He has good defense.
He's not scared of you,
Yeah.
but he may not be able to go punch for punch with you, but he's gonna figure out how to
Yeah,
fucking beat your ass,
yeah. He's a smart. He
and
was a
that's what it's
smart
all
fighter.
about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, you're dumb if you think you can go up against some of these fighters and just go blow for blow. You know,
yeah,
it's strategy. It's not just two big motherfuckers out there just fighting it. You know,
yeah.
there's some strategy to it. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'll probably check it out, especially since it's free. I ain't gonna go out there and spend 100,
Nah, fuck that.
bucks
That's why
on
I
a
stopped
fight.
really watching boxing because it
Yeah.
was just not worth the pay per view.
Just like I think we brought it up last week, and I was talking to somebody about it this week about sports are just becoming less about the competition, less about the passion, and more about the money, the flash. Especially these days, like with Canelo, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah,
doing all kinds of shit like that, doing interviews with like Big Boy or Aiden Ross or the big influencers. When back in the day, they just would do an interview with the ring announcer, and that's about everything's about promotion,
yeah. Because
promotion.
you want more views, you want
Yeah,
more
so
following, you want they're gonna be the ones to watch and buy the merch and all
yep.
that type
And
stuff.
then these guys like like I brought up Aiden Ross, was it Kai Sanat, and all these guys, they got fucking millions of followers. So you get on their, it's just like with Donald Trump with the election, he got on with Joe Rogan. I think that Theo Von guy or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what they said was a big push.
yeah,
Those guys have massive followings, and now you're on there. Now you just got all these people. You just charmed them, and
yeah.
now that maybe if they were on the fence, now they're like, man, this guy's actually a nice guy.
Hmm.
So crazy this world of exposure these days. You just get into the right platform or the right person and fucking blow up. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So, but anyways, yeah, we'll see. Right now, I'm focused on seeing if these fucking Rangers can get into the playoffs, man.
we're getting there.
When we won,
September.
when we won it, we were the wild card. So we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see. But anyways, what else you got, man?
Not much. I know we're getting late. You said a cliffhanger from last week and stuff, but um, we did talk about some family stuff, and I think it's a good topic to bring up. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our brother, whether it's cousins, whether it's whatever. I think one of the comments this week was, we're one of the, I don't want to misquote it, but like one of the most, not realist, but more relatable type of
Okay, yeah, yeah,
podcast because we talk about these things. And I think for me, we want to jump into real quick is that I don't like the toxicity of relationships,
yes.
right? And whether it's whoever, parents, cousins,
Me or you?
whoever, me and you,
Yeah,
if it's toxic, I think maybe within the last 6, 7 years, I've kind of started cutting those people off, right?
yeah,
No matter who it is,
yeah.
because I just don't have the energy for it. I already have anxiety, as people notice my knee
Stop
fucking
shaking that
bouncing
fucking knee,
all the
man.
time. I do have anxiety, right? And I think I'm just trying to get away from those types of relationships.
Yeah,
You know,
they're not healthy.
it's not healthy, right? And what does it bring me besides that? And just real quick on my side, like, just we can jump in and then continue next week, but or when you come back. My thing with mom and dad, when I used to go to the house, right? We had a falling out, but back when I used to go to the house, it was just dark all the time, right? It was dark. Mom was in the room, dad was in the living room, and it just made me want to go to sleep,
Yeah,
right?
dark as in the mood, or dark as in the lights.
Both,
Okay.
both, and it just made me want to take a nap,
Yeah,
right? I had no energy going in because just walking in, my energy was drained
yeah,
because of, and I'm real big on vibes and energy that somebody gives you.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
big on that.
You feed off of it.
So when I walk in and just my mood would go down and I would just like want to take a nap.
Yeah,
Right? There was no energy in that house for me. Right? This is my perspective on it. And I go see mom and she's in bed, and dad's in the living room, and they're doing their own thing, which to me wasn't normal in the type of relationship that I have, right? Um, And that's why when we've gotten mad at each other, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "You need to go to the couch." Like, no, I'm not going to the couch. And she's like, "Why won't you go?" She's so mad at me, right? Doesn't want to see me. And
You talking about mom or
no,
Cynthia?
here at home.
Okay.
And she's like, "Go to the couch." And like, no, I'm not going to the couch because it brings me back to that.
Now you're talking to meaning when y'all have disagreements,
Yeah,
get
or
out,
argument or
go get.
something. And
Okay,
she's
okay,
just like, get away from me, right?
okay,
Not
okay.
go sleep on the couch.
No, I didn't know if you meant like, as in she's in the room, everything's good, but she's in the room, you're in the living room, that type
No,
of
we
stuff.
we
Okay,
don't do that.
I got you.
And it's to some people it's weird, but we just don't do that. And when she's got mad, I'm like, no, I'm not going to the couch
Yeah,
because it reminds me of that, right? You over here, my mom over here, my dad over here. They're just not connected.
and even if they're not mad at each other, it's just that the interest to be around each other is
Exactly.
not there. I'd rather be over here doing my thing than
Yeah.
be with you doing that.
Exactly. And I don't know. Some people think we're weird in that sense that, you know, it's not that she doesn't want me to, or I don't. I just don't have the need to like go out and have a drink with the boys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I'm with
I'm
you
gonna
on that.
go walk. I'm just gonna even when we do argue or fight. I don't leave
Yeah,
because fuck it, I'm leaving
yeah,
type stuff.
yeah,
I stay here and I annoy her until she's not mad anymore, right?
exactly.
And we talk text all day. She calls me whatever, and people think it's weird.
Yeah,
But I think for me, it's more like I don't want to get into that where we're doing our own things, which is healthy to an extent, right?
yeah,
She'll
yeah,
go,
yeah,
she'll
yeah.
have dinner with her friends or whatever, or have lunch or whatever. Um, but we have different jobs. Like me, I'm around people all
Yeah,
day, right? I have coworkers. I deal with clinics outside of Parkland and all that, where she's just by herself,
yeah,
right? She has a store. She's her own worker. She has her lashes. She sees her clients, but then they leave, right?
yeah, yeah,
So she deserves somewhat of that type of relationship with outside people,
yeah.
right?
Kind of
And
like with Myra getting a job. You know,
yeah,
yeah, you need.
and I do that all day. I deal with people all day, and I have coworkers, and we chit chat sports or whatever. And I come home or go to the store or whatever, but I'm just ready to come home and be around her,
Yeah,
right? And
which is good.
and I think part of it is that, like what I saw, like I don't want to be in the living room and her be in the bedroom. Sometimes if there's a show that,
Yeah,
and I'll tell her if she's sleepy, does it bothering you? Because I'll go watch it over there, but it's not because we're mad.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
My key thing is I'm not going over there because you're
yeah.
mad,
You
and
know,
I'm definitely not sleeping on the couch.
like me and Myra, we're kind of opposite. It's not because we're mad. I mean, I've said it before. We have our little arguments, but they ain't shit. You know, like you said, I'll know her. I'll be texting her. But mainly it's because I'm like, she's not into the show I'm watching, and she's into their monkeys and shit. So she'll be on her computer. I'll be in the living room, but we do have shows that we watch together. It's not
Mhm.
that I'm not interested in her. There's times I'm laying on the couch, like the other night. I'm like, hey, why don't you come lay on the couch with me? There she is. She comes lay on the couch.
But there's some relationships like that, and that's
Yeah,
not wrong,
yeah.
right?
No, no,
There's
no.
nothing
That's what
wrong
I'm
with that.
saying.
But for me, that's not how I want it to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. It's not that there's no interest in each other. She's like, oh, he's watching this fucking show,
Yeah, yeah,
or she'll be like, call me when you're done with that,
uh-huh,
and I'll come. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, and throughout the day, I don't like the texting all day because I'm busy.
yeah. You have
You
that
know,
type of job.
so my phone is always ringing
Yeah,
and texting, but she knows that
yeah,
and she respects it. But in the morning it's a hey, good morning, have a good day, drive
yeah,
safe, I love you. And maybe throughout the day send a text, hey, how's your day going? But no, not unless there's something to be discussed,
yeah,
not a lot of discussion,
yeah,
of
yeah,
just what are we gonna do later? What do we need? Now, of course, if hey, Stevie needs to be picked up at this, that type of shit. But as far as because honestly, like for my guys, that should be annoying me. I'm like, hey man, get off the fucking phone. Don't your fucking wife know you're working?
yeah,
But at the same time, it's not a sit at a desk where you can talk and
yeah.
be
Because
doing your job because
most of my day, unless I'm running to other clinics or whatever, I'm at my desk,
yeah. So
right?
that's different.
And I'm watching a YouTube video or something while I'm working.
Yeah, then that's how I do it. When I'm at my desk, I got my earpod on, I got my
Yeah,
phone right
mhm,
there. But if we're on the field, my guys don't have that office job. So if they're on the phone like this, that means they're not doing this. You
mhm.
know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Don't your wife know? You
Yeah.
know, I used to work with a
Yeah.
guy, man. Jesse gonna hit this one on the comments a bit. Named Arthur Walker, man, old school guy. Worked with him at Drive Time. Yeah, he would not answer a phone call from his wife.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I go, what if it's an emergency? She goes, well, then she needs to call 911.
And I've heard that before. Like I'm at work and that's it.
But
I'm
I'm
at
not
home.
that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My wife wants to call me, I'm gonna answer. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But she understands. Like I'm already straight. Like I'll be like, "What? What do you got? I'm in the middle of something." You know. But we would even fuck like Arthur Walker.
Yeah.
You got a phone call. Who is it? It's your wife. Tell her I'll see her when I get home. I'm like, dude, she's on the phone. Like I don't care. Tell her she
Yeah.
knows. But not that hardcore. I'm not like that. My
Yeah.
wife wants to send me a text. Hey, babe, I love you. Have a good day. Or if she's got something to ask me, you know, I'm not like, why are you texting me? It's not like that. But just to, and sometimes if I'm at my desk, and sometimes we do conversate all day about what's going on,
Yeah.
but it's not an everyday thing because, like I said, you know, my phone rings off the hook, you
And
know,
sometimes you're in the field.
you know, yeah, exactly. So, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's a pretty cool thing. Like you said, I want to come home. I want to be around my wife.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with who the fuck gonna say something about that. You know what I mean? You know, and you maybe you worked. I know I have where motherfucker be like, man, I'd rather be at work than go home and deal with my wife.
Of course, and
You know
there's
what I
days
mean?
like that
Yeah,
where I'm frustrated. Like I said, my anxiety's up, and I think work is like a getaway,
yeah,
right? You got somebody you can talk to about sports or talk to about what similar things going on that maybe you can't, your wife can't relate to you,
yeah,
or
yeah,
your brother can't relate to you because of what's going on at work,
yeah,
and that helps, right? But so I get that to an extent, you
yeah.
know.
But let's get back to what the original topic, what you was talking about. So, yeah, I feel you on that, man. You know, I go to my in laws and it's just full of life. My father-in-law's outside working on something. He's like a grandpa type dude, always working on something.
Hmm.
You know, can't sit still. And then what does that attract? It attracts the kids to go out there. What are you doing? They call him Poppy. They used to bother me. Poppy, they ain't your fucking dad. But I love my father-in-law, so they call him Poppy. You know, hey Poppy, what are you doing? You know, then they're out there playing with Poppy while, you know, we're inside talking to my mother-in-law. The brother-in-law's there, you know. Mother-in-law's cooking, you know, we're just it's a fun, loving family vibe. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And there was a point at mom's house when it was that way. You know, with the kids.
When they were little, yeah.
We take the kids, we'd be outside. They
Yeah.
they they, they got the little swing set. They fixed up the backyard, nice patio. So it was a time when it was lively. You know what I'm saying? But then, some people know if you know, or it's the same. If you know, you know. IKYNK, whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Uh, there's things that mom did that affected her health and affected her mental. So it was sad to see that transition. And with it being sad, it was a lot of playing a victim, playing this and playing, and it was,
Playing each other.
yeah, and it was, I would guess the word would be somber as well. You walk
Hmm.
in and, oh, hey, mijo, I'm just in my room. I'm asleep. I'll be out there later. Your dad's out there, and, I mean, I'm not to bash anybody because I was thinking about that on the way. I know we was going to talk a little bit about this, and it's a tough topic. It's hard to go into details, which we may have to. Some people might understand what we're saying. Some people kind of know, but I mean, I love Dad. I think Dad did his best raising us, but I mean, Dad's not the type to just sit there and have a good time with the kids and us and make us feel welcome. You know, he sit there on the couch and just watch TV.
Yeah.
And they weren't in their 60s and 70s where old people do that. It was like the kids were bored. They didn't want
Yeah,
to
they
be
would get
there.
very bored. Yeah.
My kids, they love to go to my in-laws' house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Stevie's taking welding at school. My father-in-law's a fucking master welder.
Hmm.
So he's like, when are we going to Poppy's house so he can show him how to weld? Because they
Yeah.
know going over there's going to be something to do.
Yeah.
Mima, they call my mother-in-law Mima. Mima's going to make me some food, and they love her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like with my grandma, our grandma. And sometimes, like Chris or Dolores, sometimes they'll say grandma and grandpa, and I'm thinking about my grandma and grandpa, but their grandma and grandpa was Uncle Tony.
Yeah.
So our grandparents, I remember as a teenager, I was doing what I was doing on the streets, whatever. But I was always asking, "Can I go spend night at grandma's house?" And we didn't do shit. She made me papas, beans, whatever, atole. And I remember just laying on the bed talking to her. You know what I
It
mean?
was
And
just a
just
different type of vibe walking in there.
yeah,
Like I
and
said, and for me, the energy is what I take a lot, and I like it affects me whether it's whatever. Like I said, go back to my anxiety or whatever. The energy affects me when you walk into somewhere.
you know,
Like the energy of like people that, like in Spanish they say envidia, right? It's like haters, right? I guess you can say. And not that that was a place of haters, but it was just the mood was down, right? When I walk into the store sometimes at our business, you feel that I walk in and I feel that type of vibe. And it sucks because, and it happened the other day, you do good and people want to bash you, right? They want to be jealous that you have this. They think you have this, and it's, but
yeah,
they don't see that I'm working every day. They don't see that. Like yesterday, the lady that helps us needed off, so I was there from 9 to 9 yesterday,
yeah.
right? And one guy who came in, he's like, oh man, I was sitting down watching YouTube, and he walks in to buy some beer. He goes, man, the life you have sitting there watching the computer. And I started laughing, it's like, he
Well,
kept on, he wouldn't stop. I said, only if you knew, right? Only if you knew. He goes, I bet your back hurts from sitting all of that money and this and this and that. I'm like, bro, only if you knew, like,
yeah,
that the bills that we pay here at the store, that some months we're like, fuck, how we gonna do this? Yeah, we've been doing it for a while, but we have those months where it's just like, how the fuck we gonna make it, right? And then we recuperate or whatever. It's just the way business works.
yeah.
And I'm still working at Parkland, so obviously the store isn't providing for us in every which way it
To be able
can,
to
right?
quit.
But I do like going to work.
Yeah,
But so that part where I call at store is just like, you know when you walk in, like, fuck, it feels heavy in
yeah.
here. But it's a different type of heavy when I would go to mom's. And then we had the issue with, you know, me and you have never had beef, and the fact that maybe there was a time or two where we didn't talk for whatever reason, but it was never to extent where I hate that motherfucker or
Yeah,
fuck JJ, fuck Steven, whatever.
yeah,
We worked it out.
yeah.
And
I was thinking about that on the way, and I don't remember you brought it up when we was eating that day, or you brought it up on the podcast last week. Um, was there a time when, like you said, it was never really beef, but I think, and I was thinking, I said, you know what? I think it was when you got married.
hmm
You know what I mean? As us, I guess, being selfish family, we didn't know Cynthia.
yeah,
I knew Cynthia from junior high, but I didn't know her. I know who she
yeah,
was.
yeah.
She was a gangster, junior homegirl in the house. You know what I'm saying? Not just that, but for me personally, and I'm sure mom too. We talked about it with. No, this was something I talked about. With Bianca and Josh and Nene getting older. I think she's having a tough time. I'm not gonna dig into it because I don't want to get no technical. You talk about my business. But I'm saying, as a mother, when your kids grow up, it's tough. I guess when you realize, okay, the boys that had my back and I was their number one woman now have another number one.
hmm
And I'm sure a lot of mothers go through it. So for Bianca, to her, it's natural. Your boys are getting older. You know what I mean? They're getting girlfriends. They're having babies now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me though, and I'm sure, like I said, my point was that for mom as well, I was like, me and I was thinking about that too about Jeremy. And I know you was gone a lot of his childhood,
Yeah.
but I was like, man, I was thinking, and literally on the way I was thinking, I was like, but Jeremy still loved the fuck out of you. You were still his big brother. And I remember the day you left for the Navy, they came and picked you up just from the door and you left.
hmm
And of course we were all crying, but I remember Jeremy was like, I don't remember if he was laying on the ground banging his head on the ground or he was laying on the ground and banging his feet, but I know he took it hard too. We all did. So I think it turned into, for me, was like, I lost my big brother, but then at the same time, he's coming home, and we're excited for that. But now you're not coming home really, like our big
Yeah,
brother
I
no more.
get
You're coming
that.
home married.
And then I
So,
had to share the time with with her when I came home and with you
Yeah,
guys, and then Albert and whatever else,
yeah.
you know.
So we look at it as like, man, we're your family. We've
Yeah,
been waiting for you. You come home and you're not home.
yeah, yeah,
So but I'm a kid. I'm not looking at it. Like Chris. He comes home. He spends time. Well, it seems like he spends a lot of time with the kids, but I think that it was, and we're like, and all I heard was the bad things about
yeah,
Cynthia.
yeah,
Oh, she's skipping school to be over here with your brother,
yeah,
stuff like that. And so I didn't know her and I didn't understand as an adult. I mean, fuck, yeah, you left a kid, but you came back a man.
yeah,
Now you're doing man shit.
yeah,
Yeah, you loved your little brothers and you spent whatever time, but you was a young adult with a little bit of money in your pocket. Now you got a car, you got your girl, you was trying to be out there doing your thing, not just sitting at home playing with your little brothers. You know what I mean? So and that's kind of like Joshy. When he left, he was a kid. Him and Nene were like this. Nene was 2 years is 2 years when you're from 15 to 17 or 17 to 19.
yeah,
Those are big years that you grow. So when he came home, him and Nene had a rough time getting back into their group because Josh is looking at him still like that little kid, and he's not no more.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not that little 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid when he left. And Josh is the same way. Like, hey, Dad, I'm not that little kid I was when I left no more. You know what I mean? So, so that part as now as an adult, I get it. But at that point in time, it's
Yeah,
like, hey, motherfucker, we've been the ones that drove to Chicago
yeah.
to see you. We were the ones writing the letters. We're the ones crying, thinking about you, and you come home and you're not home. Not only that, but now you're living in California. You come home, you got a whole family. But it was not fair for you.
No,
Is what I'm
and
getting
then
at.
and I think you got pulled into the guilt part of it, right? And they made me have a lot of guilt for that,
Yeah,
and it was hard because it turned into affecting my marriage
yeah,
because the guilt was still there, and I took mom's side a lot,
yeah.
and that was wrong of me once I got married to do that. And it, like I said, you probably went through the same shit. It affected me because, and then I kept hearing, you only have one mom, you only have one mom, and blah blah. And I let all that affect my thinking and stuff like that, where it could have ruined even the wedding day,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It did mess up the wedding
Well,
day to an
hell, mom and
extent.
dad didn't even go to my wedding. We'll get into
Exactly.
that later,
Yeah.
but
So, but then at the end, when we talk about all this, there's one common denominator.
mom.
Again, yeah. And um, talking about me and you, when I would go over there, it'd be like, oh, Steven said this, and your brother this, and blah blah, and I would get mad, right? And I remember you telling me the same thing. I think I told you one time, hey Steven, what's up with this? Mom saying blah blah. Why are you doing this? And you told me, well, she's saying you're doing this.
Yeah,
So we had like a little family meeting. It was me, you, Jeremy, and Dad, and we were like, let's just cut all the bullshit. If she says something that offends you or you think is wrong, just come to me,
yeah,
right? And we squashed it there, and that was part of the whole toxic part
yeah.
that I just couldn't do anymore.
Mom's always been real toxic. And mom just put it out there. I mean, if you know, you know it. It is what it is, and that was what it was. I was. Everybody knows I love family. I've always been outspoken. I don't give a fuck. And it was like, motherfucker, you're hurting mom. What the fuck's your problem? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? This
yeah,
is mom. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
You have one
And
mom.
that's what was pissing me off. I'm
Yeah,
like, but I'm being told shit. You know what I mean? I'm a
yeah,
kid,
yeah, yeah,
and all I'm hearing, I'm out doing my thing. Then I come home, mom's crying. Well, what the fuck happened? Oh,
yeah,
JJ, don't, this, that. Then I'm already, and I'm getting pissed off. Hey, what the fuck, man? What's your
yeah,
problem, man? Why you doing that? Why don't you just come visit mom?
yeah,
But I'm not knowing both sides. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So for now that I look back, it was very unfair for you. I mean, just like I said, when Joshie came home, we were thinking like, hey man, we're the ones that were putting money on this, doing that, supporting you, waiting on you, and now you come home and now you got this girl and you
yeah,
want to go back with your friends,
yeah.
but you just
You move on to different things at stages of life, right?
yeah,
And you don't realize it. You don't even realize that it's happening to you, but the people around you see it and maybe get upset that he's moving on, but that's part of life, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I was getting pulled both ways. Like I was getting the guilt from them saying you don't spend enough time with us, and I was getting pulled. My marriage side was you're married now.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're not a mama's boy no more. Like, and that was hard for me to understand
Because you were mama's boy.
because of the way I was raised and the guilt I was getting
But
from
but
that
you
side.
were not necessarily like a spoiled brat mama's boy, but you were mama's boy. Mom,
Yeah,
what, like
yeah,
you were number one,
yeah,
and that black sheep shit is real. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because you were mom's number one. Of course, Jeremy was
The
dad's
baby.
blood
Yeah.
son, not on top of being the baby. And then I was there, the one I was fucking up. Now, once you left, I became the favorite. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then even not knowing back then, like being at the house even back then affected me. Like I didn't even know what's going on with me, and I didn't know about the anxiety or whatever. But just being there, kind of, that's why I was never home.
Yeah,
That's why I would rather not be at home. But at the time, I didn't know what it was,
yeah.
right?
And
But then
then,
I was getting guilt tripped
yeah.
from not being home or not
and,
seeing her.
and, and mom was doing things that we didn't know about at the time either that was affecting her mental at that time to
Yeah,
get her where she's at now, where it's like not even the same person from 10 15 years ago.
yeah.
But so she was doing what she was doing to just mood swings. I remember, you know uh I'm pretty sure I was married. I don't remember yet or not. I'm pretty sure I was though. But I remember going over there sometimes and it'd be like, "Hey, man, you hungry? You want this?" Like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
hook it up. And then sometimes opening the door and already hearing her shit and just fucking closing the door and just fucking leaving, not even walking
But
in.
then I would hear, "Oh, Steven does come and he wants me to cook for him."
Yeah.
You
So,
know what I mean? So it's like,
well, I mean, for me, that's how. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, that's how it was with grandma.
no,
You
but I'm
walk in.
saying is she would offer you to eat and
Yeah,
cook
yeah.
for you, but then I would hear he only comes over here and I don't feel good and he makes me cook for him.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And what pissed me off about that shit was like, well, you're not feeling good because you're doing shit you ain't supposed to be doing.
and then me, I would think, well, Steven, why are you making mom cook for you if she don't feel good? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's how the back and forth went,
yeah.
and that's when I needed to stop.
When we left that dinner the other night for your birthday, we discussed some things, and I was telling mom like, man, I forgot what I told her, but she goes, man, it seems like your brother was affected a lot more than you were about from your childhood.
What's funny is, and I brought this up with Cynthia. I go to therapy, right?
Okay.
I go to therapy normally once a week, and I've been doing it for a while. And one thing that got me was the kids. They have that word crash out, right?
Yeah.
Right. So one day I was driving and there was traffic. We were running late. I had anxiety that day. Cynthia was saying something about how I was driving. Bea was in a bad mood from school. And Nikki likes to pick on me, right? He knows how to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, getting there. And they saw it, right? They saw me getting there and they're like, Dad's crashing out. But it was funny,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't funny to me at the time, but I started laughing. We went to go sit down at dinner, finally got to dinner, whatever. And I said, I'm gonna crash out. But it was funny. We started laughing.
Yeah.
And I told Cynthia, I said, I was talking to a therapist about this, and my crashing out, and it turns to be a laughing thing at dinner.
Yeah.
I said, only if they knew what our dad's crashing out was, right? And I said, I'm so happy that they will never know that, right? And I think I said it before. That's the only way I knew how to discipline was the way we learned how to discipline.
Yeah.
And Cynthia broke me out of that shit. She's like, you're not spanking the boys. You're not doing this. She broke me out of that, and they call it generational curse, right?
Yeah.
And it just hit me and I was saying it to the therapist, and I was saying, and it hit me like, and it fucking just made me almost cry that day. Like, they'll never know what the crashing out that I saw was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, for one, Cynthia broke me out of that mold. And two, I didn't want to be that type of father to begin
Yeah.
with. Right. And it's so crazy that they can laugh at dad crashing out and not be scared of dad crashing out the way we were.
Yeah. Where we would be like quiet, like
Yeah.
just sit there.
Where he would get home mad from work already and then we're gonna get help, right?
Yeah.
And um I was like, fuck, that shit's crazy, right?
That
So
is.
it affected me a certain way that, like I said, my high school years, I don't remember being home.
Yeah.
And
Well, you worked a lot too,
I
so
worked a lot, but maybe it was a reason why I was
yeah.
working.
Escape, get from the house. I mean, and
But at the time, you don't realize it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, with that being said, now do they need to know, like, all right, dad does have some anxiety. Let's not poke him to
No,
crash out.
because they know I'm open with them. Like
Okay.
they know I see a therapist. And it was funny because that day I was crashing out, I even said, and I don't even have my appointment this week. You know,
So I
so
can't even talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah. So, but it's
I,
open. They know that.
and I think the difference with that, and I was just asking that question, is that for one, they not testing you, but they know, okay, I can take him to the edge. You're not gonna do nothing, which it can be a good and bad thing because sometimes maybe you don't need to be pushed those buttons because
I think
maybe
Nikki does it his own way as far as he's not pushing me to the edge, but he's fucking with me.
okay,
But a playful fuck with
that's what I
me.
was about to get to. He's thinking if I make him laugh or I get him out of that mood,
I think he's trying to change the mood, right?
yes.
I think that's what he's
So
doing.
that's what I was gonna get at
Yeah.
was that it's different when you have a loving family
Mhm.
there that yeah, you're on the edge of crashing out. But these motherfuckers are too they love me so much they're not gonna let me
Yeah,
crash out.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna crash out.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
that's and they don't even know they're doing it. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly. So that's what I was getting at. Not
Yeah.
that they need to stop pushing. It was like you
If
said, he's trying to change it. Like I know dad's getting mad. Let me see if I can cheer him up, or like you
oh, that
said,
wasn't no back when we were kids. That wasn't
oh
happening.
hell no, that was talking shit. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
slap to the face.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but you know that they're not necessarily pushing you. He's poking at you, but in a loving way to hope that you don't crash out. Not
Probably
pushing you. I
so.
want to see dad
Yeah,
crash out and
of
act
course.
crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So where, like you said, our dad would come home and he was in a bad mood and you said the wrong thing, you was getting your ass whooped. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the thing about our dad was he took pride in whooping our ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you
I hate to
remember.
say it, but yeah, and one thing that I haven't really unwrapped is, and I haven't talked about it, but he would do it in front of people.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He would. I remember, and I don't know if you. I mean, it's funny. There's some shit I can't remember. Like at work, I can't remember how this program works. I got to call the programmer to walk me through it. But if I hear a voice or I see a face from 30 years ago, I'll know it.
Yeah.
I'll know just by the voice. And there's shit that I remember. Like I remember being on the back patio, and I remember Dad on the phone saying, "Yeah, I beat the shit out of his ass." He was talking back, like bragging about it,
Mhm.
and that shit sticks with me. And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why the love as a dad, he was there, but I don't. Well, especially with recent events, I don't think he'll ever have my respect as a man, and that could change. I don't know, but there's things that have happened that as a man he should have already stepped forward. There's issues, and we'll dig deeper. We're not gonna get everything in one episode, shit. Uh, but as a man, for me, if I fuck up with my kids, I'm gonna say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about where I fucked up.
Mhm.
And as far as our dad, there's things that have happened that I think should have warranted a phone call. Whether I answered the phone call, whether I wanted to sit down and talk to him about what's going on,
Mhm.
regardless, as a dad, as a man, because there's an incident that happened probably almost 10 fucking years ago. It happened, and he never was like, "Hey, son, let me talk to you about this," or "Hey, son, I know you might be upset." And I might say, "You know what? Fuck you." But just to have that phone call to say, "Okay, he manned up and he wanted to talk," that was on me. I
Yeah.
chose not to talk to him.
Yeah.
But just to that incident to happen and nothing, for me, that's not respectable. You know what I mean? As a man, you got to be able to humble yourself no matter what situation you get into. And you have to be able to accept, not expect, accept that with this mistake I made, even though I'm going to reach out to my son, my brother, my wife, my kids, whatever, I have to accept that they may not accept my apology,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay because I fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus just ignore and ghost.
Or we can talk about it and maybe eventually we
Yes,
can get
work on it.
something back.
But without a
Yeah.
conversation, you can never even have those steps available.
See, like me, when I say, I've said it, I don't want to be a grandpa yet, right? And it's not because I don't want to be old or whatever. I don't have the time
Yeah,
to be a grandpa, right? And one thing that gets me is that I've never said you can't see the kids.
yeah,
I've never said stay away, right? And I think that it's their generation thing because they've always been this way. And I know I've read things that is true to that boomer generation. They don't come visit. They've never come visit,
yeah,
right? I don't know if they ever went to your house or they came here once, I want to say. If it's not a holiday that we
yeah,
had
yeah,
here,
yeah,
maybe they came once in the time that we were talking that we lived here because they just never said, let's go to JJ's house.
yeah,
Let's see the kids.
yeah,
No, it's like when you bringing the kids.
yeah,
Like, well, I'm busy, you know, and that's why I say I'm too busy to spend that time with the
yeah,
grandkids right now. I think if we had them, we'd do our best to make the time, but probably don't have the time that I would want to be a grandpa right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
You just, because that day you brought that up at dinner, and Cynthia was like, kind of my answer, motherfucker, it ain't up to you. You ready for your grandpa? But now that we've unpacked a little bit, it makes sense to me now because you don't want to be the grandparent that our parents were to our kids.
I want to be there more. I want to
Exactly.
say, hey, I'm picking them up,
Yeah.
and they're staying here all weekend.
And I brought that up, co-worker at work. I consider him a friend. Every week he's got his grandson's name's Ripken, cool name. His best friend's name is Cal Ripken. It's
Oh
funny,
shit!
yeah. And his granddaughter's name is Reese, and he's always like, okay, Ripken has a no. Actually, all week he plays baseball, and we've been looking, man. What should I get him, Steve? And for him, price is no object for his grandkids.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, Ripken has a game Saturday, and Reese has a volleyball game. It's her first volleyball game, so I have to show her the same support I show Ripken for his baseball games, and he's figuring out his schedule to go see the kids. And I literally, I think it was yesterday, Friday. I said, "Damn, Dennis, I wish my kids had a grandpa like you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's badass to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if he's out of town, he's there. And one thing I always said is, we get busy, and I felt, my kids have played baseball all their lives, and I don't even think mom and dad have ever gone to a fucking game.
Yeah, and Cynthia said the same thing when we were going to Vegas volleyball and when she had a cheer thing. She was like, my parents never went to any of my events, and
Yeah,
Cynthia was big in sports, and it's that I hate to say it, but it's just that generation where it's affected a lot of. I'm a Gen X and you're millennial. Affected us and how we raise our kids,
yeah,
and the fact that we didn't want to do that,
yeah,
right? And the fact that let's time to cut off this toxicity to my life
yeah,
type stuff, and that's what and it offends the grandparents or the parents or whatever, but at the same time they don't see what they did wrong,
yeah,
and they'll never say I'm sorry that I did this
yeah.
because they don't know how.
Yeah, and like I've said, it's always stuck to me in my head where dad says the parents don't need to apologize to the
They
kid.
said that,
The
yeah,
kid, no,
yeah,
he's told me straight up, and
yeah.
I've, we've been arguing when I was a teenager. Well, you don't show me no respect, but we don't have to show you respect.
You got a roof
Yeah,
over your head
exactly.
and clothes
So,
on your back.
but at the same time, you say it's generational. My in-laws love him, man. When we were super busy, Nene was doing football, Josh was baseball, Stevie, as everybody's doing something, they would call us and be like, okay, where y'all at this
Yeah.
weekend? We're going to go watch a game. Then after, we're going to take you out to eat. So as a grandparent, they love being grandparents.
And there was those times. I'm not gonna say there wasn't not those times that they did that, right? Because they did with the kids when they were little, right? They would scoop them up or take them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
wherever, or we'd all go out to eat. There were those times. I'm not gonna say that, oh, they're just horrible people, because they're not.
No, but
I'm not gonna say that, but they didn't they didn't reach out if we didn't.
yeah.
They didn't say, oh, there's a game this weekend or anything like that. It'll be like, hey, there's a game this weekend. Okay, we'll try to make it.
But not only that, but at the same time, we're busy and they're not making because they don't do shit.
Yeah,
Dad get off work, he wouldn't do shit. Lay on the fucking couch. Mom didn't work.
yeah,
So there was no excuse why they couldn't go do this shit. But at the same time, instead of them trying to, okay, let's go watch a baseball game. These are I mean, I got into baseball because of my nephew.
yeah,
I was like, fuck, I've been waiting for this shit. And I was so excited that you were coaching and my nephew was playing. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
couldn't wait to see it. So I can imagine the way I feel about a grandkid, how a grandfather should feel about that shit. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, fuck, because he coached you.
Mm-hmm.
He loved baseball. So you would think as soon as your son or any of my kids, you know what I mean? I mean, you would think that grandpa's because that's how I think I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm already looking for teams for my granddaughter
Mm-hmm.
softball. But I know I'm gonna drive. She's playing. I'm gonna be at the practices. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be at the fucking games because hell, it brought me joy with my kids. It's gonna bring me even more joy. So that's the part that I don't understand. But at the same time, we're busy as fuck. They're not making an effort to see the kids or even come to the house, like you said. Well, y'all don't come over. Y'all don't bring the kids over. Well, goddamn, we ain't got time. Why don't y'all get off your fucking asses and come to us?
And it's not a place I want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And the
I
kids
mean,
don't
to
want
be
to
honest,
be,
yeah, and the kids feel the same way sometimes,
you know.
or they did feel the same way
And
sometimes.
their thing of being a good grandparent was buy them gifts, buy them this,
Yeah,
buy them
yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Which
saying?
kids love when they're little.
Yeah, but like I've said before, I don't remember any gifts that grandma and grandpa gave me, but I can fucking got thousands of memories
Yeah.
of just being at their house.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So eventually, and it's sad because I mean, fuck, our kids have pretty much forgotten about our mom and dad. I think,
It's hard to say, but yeah, in a way, yes.
or they
You
don't bring
know.
them up at least.
Yeah.
And one thing that gets to me too is what you said right there is the kids never did nothing. So and that's one thing that always that sticks with me is that me and Jeremy, we were cool, we were close. He come over 3 4 times a week, every week, and he was there. Lisette loved the kids, so they would babysit the kids and spoil them, buy them pizza, ice cream, all kinds of shit. So when everything went down, just not to get completely into it, but literally we went from, and I don't know if you remember, we went from one day, me, Myra, you, Cynthia, Jeremy, Lisette, and Mom
Trying to figure
meeting,
some shit out.
figuring some shit out, but as a family.
Yeah, and it was cool.
Yes, it was that we were all banding together. At that point, I think we were repairing. Everybody was finally. I
Getting
think we were in a
along.
good place.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody where we could all be together, and then that happened, and we were having that family meeting to figure out how we were gonna take care of Mom. And then from the next day, nothing.
yeah.
Like literally, from being a family, figuring things out to the next day, not talking to him for 10 fucking years. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been almost that long. It's been at least 8
Damn. Yeah.
for real. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So just let's just round it off at 8. Josh is 20, 12 years old. Stevie's 16. He was 8.
Yeah, Bay's 13, so she's 4. She was 4.
You know what I'm saying? So literally, so to put it kind of in perspective, that's how it went. So Jeremy, all our kids had cell phones. Jeremy, mom and dad, they had their numbers.
Yeah.
So why couldn't you at least wish him a happy birthday, shit like that? You know what I mean? So, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot,
And
and
Cynthia says this a lot because maybe you don't remember much as I do, but um, our real dad wasn't in the picture,
yeah.
and this is that meeting with him was another episode,
Hey,
and
that shit was tripped out.
and maybe we'll talk about that next one. But they always said, you know, they never send y'all birthday cards. They know where your grandma back then. They know where your grandma lives. She's lived there forever. Why can't they come over? Why can't they mail a birthday card? Why can't they do this?
Yeah,
Cynthia brings that up because, like Myra said, it did affect me. Maybe she sees something that maybe I don't realize, but things did affect me a certain way. And I've explained that to Cynthia, like they used to always say this, growing up. And that was something that I think Dad used to weaponize also, and
Well,
I hate
if
to
you don't
say
like,
it, but and it fucks me up saying it again, but he'd be like, well, call him.
yeah,
If you don't like it here, call him.
yeah.
Tell him to come get you. And knowing that I can't,
Yeah.
knowing
And
that he
then
won't.
and then on that same note, when he did come into our lives and we finally did meet him, he was jealous.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He was jealous of it. He
Yeah.
wanted to change all the grandkids' names to Valderas
Yeah.
because then I was like, he wanted to change my name.
Hmm.
And at that point, I was still, I was a teenager and
How?
had,
No, you were married already when we went to go see him.
no, I'm talking about prior to that.
Oh
There
yeah,
was
yeah.
a time when Dad wanted me to change my last name.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I guess I'm pretty sure he maybe brought it up to you. I think maybe you were in the Navy. I know I wasn't married or none yet, and I was like, at that point, I'm not realizing maybe the emotional effects that I was having, but at that point, it was a consideration.
Hmm.
But I told him, I said, look, man, you're my dad. You always be my dad, but it's my last name. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of who I am, and this is what I'm gonna be.
Hmm.
But I think it was before we had kids because he wanted his grandkids to have his last name.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was the whole point. But you're right. I'll talk to you. None of your mother will call that motherfucker. See
Yeah.
if he wants you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess, like you say, you don't realize it, but I guess in the long run, it kind of does affect you. But when we did meet him, it's funny. I mean, what a joke, anyways. But it was like your dad don't like that y'all are talking to him. This and that. Well, fuck. You always told me to find the motherfucker. The motherfucker found me. So you know what the fuck's going on. So,
Yeah.
but back to like I said, it's like it was a prize that he whooped our ass, and he used to brag about it. And I don't remember if I really. I mean, as a kid, I probably slapped some ass or something, but not like we did. Put your hand on the fucking bed and
Yeah.
take this shit type shit. But I learned that talking and discussing is a lot more effective than just whooping
Yeah,
that
because like I
ass.
said, I think when Tony and Chris were little, I started that way of discipline, right? Until Cynthia's like, fuck this shit. You're
Yeah,
not doing that.
because it turns into you're just whooping my ass and you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
And it
mean?
goes nowhere.
Yeah, I fucked up, but I didn't realize what I was doing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
where it's like, fuck, all you're gonna do is whoop my ass. That's it.
Yeah.
So when you actually have a discussion, and back to Uncle Lawrence, like what Uncle Lawrence told me, kids are people too.
Yeah.
Kids fuck up too. Kids have a bad day just like you do. Just like he came home pissed off from work. Hey, we might come home stressed out from school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to understand, and I think I have my kids' respect. I
Hmm.
would feel confident in saying that. Now, every now and then, Josh and Nene might pull up. Well, you weren't there for me. Motherfucker, I was there for you all the time.
Yeah.
You called me and need me. I was at every game. I mean, I
Yeah.
was the dad, even though Bianca wouldn't make it sometimes, Myra wouldn't make it sometimes, at every awards assembly, every fucking field day. I was there. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I'm the one now, like, that the principals call, the
Hmm.
teachers call. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I take care of that shit. I see something on Stevie's that's not right on his attendance. So the other day I was calling the attendance office. Hey, I see that, I'm involved, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I think they see that, and I think as Josh and Nathan are growing up, and Nene's got he's with his girl, but they're not married, so he's kind of still baby mama kind of, and Joshy, I think they're realizing, like, because I used to tell him, I used to say, I hope the woman you have kids with is the woman you marry,
Yeah.
because I hope you don't have to deal with what I, not deal with it, but like, hope you don't go through what I go through if your kids thinking you didn't try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of shit. But now that they're getting older, I think they see, man, like, yeah, girls be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I get it, Dad. You did what you could do,
Yeah.
but they're also growing up and realizing the shit like we are.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some toxic stuff in their life, or maybe there was stuff, that they could have reached out to me.
And to be honest, that's why Nick stopped working at the restaurant
Yeah,
because he saw some toxic shit that was going on there. He just didn't want to deal with it, which I praise him 100%. He was working for his grandma and helping her out, which was great. But at the same time, he knew what he needed to remove himself from.
yeah.
Even though it's family, it wasn't for him.
And which sucks because what great memories that would be of him working with his grandma.
Which I'm sure he had a good time, right?
Yeah,
And he did have memories of the funny stuff he saw or whatever. But then he knew
Yeah.
shit, this is
But
kind
it
of fucked
sucks
up.
that
Yeah,
how it had to
yeah,
end.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what sucks. You know, because for your kids, that's a great thing that they always know. If I need some extra money, I
yeah,
can work at the store. I
yeah.
can work at the restaurant. You know, so that's definitely cool. But
And then real quick, I know we're in late, but how you said like you have your kids back or whatever, school or whatever like that. One funny story about Tony who edits the videos and everything. He's gonna be like, "Damn,
shout
this was
out.
a long motherfucking video." But anyways, on him, he's always done animation and stuff, right? And he has his characters, and I know who his characters are. And he was I think he was a senior, and they had this competition, art competition, and he submitted one of his videos, and I get a phone call, like because he was gonna get suspended, and I said, why is he getting suspended? Because one of his videos was very graphic, and it predicts, not predicts, whatever another word of, it protects him. Somebody coming into the school, and the character looks like the principal, and he's shooting up the principal. I was like,
Hey
and I already had
man.
seen the video,
Yeah, yeah,
and I was like, okay. So we had this meeting, and I said, have you seen the video? They're like, yeah. Have you seen any of his content at all? Right? And I said, granted, he shouldn't have submitted a video that shows violence, right?
yeah, yeah,
I said, but if you know his content like I do, that's not a principal. That's a chief police.
yeah.
And the guy who's shooting up the place, his character is like um he's not law enforcement, but he's like a bounty hunter or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a police station, not a school.
yeah,
I said, so if you know his content, you know that that's not a school.
yeah,
You're blowing out of proportion.
yeah,
You know, granted, he shouldn't have submitted
yeah.
that one,
Because it's like, hey, what's the big deal? He's not shooting up a school. He's
yeah.
only shooting up a police station.
But
No,
still,
no, I just
still the fact that it was a school thing, he shouldn't have submitted something
yeah,
so
yeah.
violent.
Especially in
But
this
he
day
was
and
very
age.
proud of it. It was a
Yeah,
good video, and it was a funny video. But the principal thought it was him. So I went to the school, or I don't remember if it was on the phone or at the school, but we fought it,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't get suspended,
That's good.
and it could have been like, why the fuck did you send that video? You knew better than
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
no,
yeah.
this is his passion, and I'm not gonna let somebody step on it.
And that goes back to where I said, instead of flying off the handle, he didn't know. He was proud of it. So
Yeah,
instead of just like it would have been with us getting our ass whooped, oh, you're suspended. They wouldn't even
they
defended
called me
us.
from school.
Yeah, get your ass whooped, and you
Yeah.
don't get to explain like, hey, Dad, I didn't realize, but I was proud of this. This
Hmm.
was some of my best work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how do you discipline somebody that doesn't know that they were doing wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's what it is. It was a lot to unpack today. I mean, we can go for fucking hours and hours. That was just a little bit. But we talked a lot about yours. How it affected you. Maybe we'll talk some about mine, like you said. Get into the conversation
Yeah.
of
When I start talking about it, I can go.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can too, but I
Yeah.
wanted to give you the chance to,
Yeah.
kind of separate it too. Give you a point of view, which I chimed in here and there, and see how it affected me because I don't really unpack it, and maybe it's because you go to, and I know I could use therapy. Maybe it's you can see the emotional more than I can. But as I think about it, like I said, I think about things and I'll be thinking about it on the way home. It does affect you, man. And without knowing, I guarantee people thought that I'd be the one to be beating the shit out of my kids because, I've always been known that. And that's one thing that Myra brought up. I know we're running, uh, is that one thing that mom and dad always wanted me to be the aggressor. Like I remember when our house got shot up, dad would always be, I was in the gang, he hated me, I was in the gang, whooped my ass, keep me in the house. But when they shot up our house, he's like, hey, get your guys and go get those motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or when Andrew was busting up the windows in the car, hey, go beat the shit out that motherfucker. And I did. Well, I didn't beat the shit out of him, get a chance to, but he knew I was looking
Yeah.
for his ass. And then the second time it happened, and I was in a peaceful, in a Zen place, and I'm like, no, I'm not going over there. They
Yeah.
were mad. Like, you mean you're not going over there to whoop his ass? No, I'm not. Call the insurance company. Call the fucking police.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Myra said is when your parents stop really fucking with you, she didn't say it that way, was when you stop being that guy.
Mm.
Go talking shit to JJ.
Yeah.
Go talking shit to the neighbor, or go and do this, or stop having their back and just being mad because they want you to be mad.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And she's right. You know what I mean? Like I said, You know, when that shit with Andrew, I mean, who I would never tell Stevie, go next door and beat the shit out of that
Oh
kid.
yeah,
Because that's gonna fucking when cops come, you're going to fucking jail. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So there's no way but that I would do that. But you know, I guess without knowing, well, knowing and not knowing, I was just like, I'm gonna be different, and that's why I do so much. And a guy at work told me, man, you do too much for Stevie, man. You know, let him live. You know, you protect him too much, but and to a fault sometimes. You know, sometimes I gotta let him, you know, like fucking field trip. He's due Monday, and he never even gave me the fucking paper. And I'm more worried about it than him.
Yeah,
Hey, get that paper so you don't miss that field trip. But I
yeah,
should be like, you know what? And I was Friday, like, fuck it. You don't give me that fucking paper, you ain't fucking going.
yeah.
You know, but then I'm like, hey man, give me that paper because I don't want him to miss out. And
Hmm.
and like I said, it could be to a fault. You know what I mean? But I've always said I love being a dad, and I'm gonna do what I can to protect my kids. So
Yeah.
other than that, like you said, we can go on and on and on, but maybe we'll pick back up next week. You know, and it's a lot to unpack, man. It really is. You know what I mean? And
Let's talk about. I think let's talk about the dad meeting next week because it's funny and fucked up at the same time.
yeah, it is. It is.
Like I could show you. I don't know if I told you the whole story about what happened with me, and then leading up to it, taking you over there, and then afterwards, and then you could tell me how what you thought about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, you
yeah,
didn't take me. Well, you took me, but you didn't want to go.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
led
yeah,
up
yeah,
to me even going,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and what I thought about it. Because I didn't want to go.
Yeah, real quick before we get done here, one thing that I thought was cool, always cool, is at one point you were the only Acevedo I knew.
Hmm.
Shit went from me and you to fucking what 10, 11 now, so that's pretty cool. Our family tree's
Oh
big
yeah,
with
yeah,
our kids, my kids, grandbaby, and that's one thing I always said. I love having boys because our name lives on. You know what I mean? If you have nothing but girls, like, Uncle Lawrence, for
yeah,
instance, got two girls. Polito, as far as his side, well, it's different because there's other Acevedos. There's a bunch of them in Kaufman, I found out. But if we had all girls, then Acevedo would be dead.
yeah. Our tree, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
would be dead. So I love
Yeah,
having boys to keep it going now. Hopefully they don't all have girls. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, man, it was a good episode. Lots
yeah.
of lots of pack. Put ourselves. I talk about a lot of other people on here, so it's all fair game.
It is.
You
I
know what I
would say
mean?
yeah,
You know, hopefully nobody's offended. Jeremy, I don't know if you watch, if you know we got a podcast or not. Never know beef, bro. I'm just talking how I feel.
and
Thank
bring your side to the
yeah,
table.
things that disappointed me, with the kids, when we came for that party and he was here,
We could talk about that too. Yeah,
yeah, talk about that too, and it's all love, man. And I felt bad. I wanted to talk about this because I was talking about other family beefs and giving advice on that
yeah,
when I'm not even living my own. So, um, mom, dad, I always love them.
for sure. Yeah,
Like I said, maybe I don't know if the respect is there. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I said, with me, you, and Jeremy, when we was going through all this shit, because we all three went through it with our wives when we got married with mom and dad,
which is crazy.
is I don't know if you remember, but I said, look, I don't care what happens with mom and dad, as long as us three keep
Hmm.
that brother bond, that sibling bond, and we all agreed, and here we are, 10 years fucking later. So, I love you, Jeremy. If you watch this, if you don't, mom and dad, I do love y'all. Whatever, and we'll see what the future brings. But at this point, like you said, any toxicity, I'm not with it. Like I told Meyer, shit, years and years ago, all it took was a hey, son, let's talk.
Yeah,
It may not be the relationship we want, but it would not be what it is today.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we'll leave it right there. Good episode. Hopefully, get some insight to where we at. Why we don't talk about some things, but if we want to be a real podcast, we gotta dig into those
Yeah, I
things.
guess
So
so.
it is what it is.
So
Other
yeah,
than that, I guess I'm gonna drink my sorrows away today. Nah, I'll just play.
coping, coping,
Finna go
coping.
get some menudo, man. I've been wanting some, so I'm pick up some menudo.
I gotta do yard work all day today, and then go close up the store. I didn't couldn't do it last week because it was raining.
Yeah, but it goes back to what that motherfucker said. Only if you knew, motherfucker. What we go through. Some people at work. Some of the guys at work. Boss man, you buy us, this, that. I'm like, man, if you only fucking knew what I go through.
Yeah, only
What I've gone through with my
yeah,
kids. Everything. But you leave home at home and you go to fucking work and you man
yeah,
up, pick your chin up and handle up. Because I'm not sitting there crying about my shit. Don't mean I ain't got shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we work hard. You
Hmm.
know, you don't see the fucking 14-hour days. When y'all clock out, I'm still working 3 or 4 more
Yeah.
hours. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Y'all don't see that shit. So it is what it is, man. Mental health. If you or somebody you know is in the mental, you know how they do on the
Yeah.
TV shows and shit, please call 1-800. If you know anybody that's trying to shoot up the school, shoot up the principal, call the school the school hotline.
Watch their content first. You know,
So
it's nothing
other than
but
that,
so.
man, you know, it's good because not only do we get to tell the people, but I don't think we've ever really talked about it with each other either. So it's pretty
Yeah, this
cool.
therapy thing I never brought up to hardly anybody,
Yeah,
but
so
fuck
it's
it,
just
we're
nothing
here.
wrong with
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? If you got the tools there to help you out, why not take them?
Yeah.
So then, in honor of Tony, we're gonna go ahead and cut it because he's gonna be like motherfucker. So other than that, man, another good one. We'll see what my schedule is, and hopefully we can get back to it next week.
All right.
All right,
Have
salute.
a good one.